Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri, and on this DIY Wednesday, boy have I got something for you. Remember a couple Fridays back I talked about the side hustle? Well, I'm putting it into practice. I know. I don't think I'm brilliant. I know that I'm brilliant, and I'm hoping my side hustle plan works. In that Friday video where we talked about getting a side hustle, what could it be? People are making millions working from home. And I'm not talking about, multi-level marketing, getting into that, or pyramid schemes or anything like that. I'm talking about finding something that you really enjoy doing and seeing if you can make money doing it. And so what I decided is that I am going to we're gonna do a little experiment for 1 month-ish. I haven't quite, calculated it out, but I'm thinking for a month, starting now, today, I am going to see if I could flip furniture and see exactly how much money I can make in a month doing it. So let me break down the plan. We are calling this the Side Hustle Project. It's an amazing title, I know. I thought of it. I already set a budget as far as the money that I want to spend on furniture pieces, $100. And I'm gonna go to the thrift stores, scour the side of the road, whatever I can do to see how many pieces of furniture I can get within my budget of $100. Once I have the furniture, I'm gonna go get the supplies. Now, I really should have factored into my initial budget supplies, but I didn't. And so I'm kind of wing the supplies. I don't want to go overboard, but depending on the furniture pieces, we all know they're going to take a coat of primer, a coat of paint, and a top coat. On top of that, what needs to be done? Do I need to replace any hardware? Is there a shelf missing that I need to replace? That sort of thing. I'm hoping that on top of the $100 that I've set aside for the furniture, that I can get away with maybe another $100 in supplies. I know I don't have to buy primer because I already have primer because I bought it when I redid Jen's dining room table. I know I have sandpaper, but I'm gonna need to buy more, I'm sure. Chalk paint, because that's what our dear friend, Katie Scott, she tells us when we're refinishing furniture that we should use chalk paint because I think it's the easiest, it covers the best, you get the best finish. Whatever the reason is, I'm gonna buy the chalk paint. I know that I have some top coat, but I also wanna buy some wax and then again, handles, what have you. So I'm gonna get in the car and I'm gonna go scouring for furniture. Now, my goal is obviously to get as many pieces as I can for $100, but I also wanna make sure that the pieces that I am getting are reasonably priced. They're in semi-good condition, quick to redo, because I don't want to spend a shit ton of time on one piece because my time is money. My time is going to get factored into the end cost of what I'm going to try to sell these pieces for. So if I buy a table for $20, spend another $20 on paint, sandpaper, what have you, and then I spend X number of hours, I need to make sure that I price that piece to cover all of that and then still turn a profit. So there's gonna be math involved, there's gonna be all this shit that we're gonna need to figure out so that we can turn a profit on all the pieces of furniture that we buy and make over and sell. Why did I decide that I was gonna do the Side Hustle Project? Well, I've redone furniture before in the past, and I really do like it. I really do enjoy the process. I like seeing something go from totally shitty and gross to something amazing. But usually all those pieces I keep for myself, like that chair over there. Found it on the side of the road and look, it's so darling. But the other reason is I really went down the rabbit hole of furniture flippers on the YouTube. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. If I see another, I made $2,000 in 1 month flipping furniture, or a thumbnail that has a picture of a shitty something before and then a really beautiful after and the words across say, made $200 or whatever. So I went down this rabbit hole. I found a couple really cute people. One gal, so darling. Her channel name is called Pretty Distressed. She totally breaks it down. Like, I spent this, I did this. She shows her spreadsheet, all that good stuff. And kind of inspired me to be like, I think I could make some money doing that. Really great channel. You should check it out. Oh, there's this one gal, oh, she's so darling. I can't get over it. She calls it like Furniture Fables by Andy Klein. Yeah, I love watching her because she's just kind of like a little furniture flipping geek. You just gotta watch it. Like, she'll be sitting on the couch reading a book about princesses or whatever, and then she'll say like, and in this furniture fable, our protagonist or something like that is this mid-century modern something or other. And so the whole time she's flipping her furniture, she's telling a story. It is really, really darling. Anyways, I went down the rabbit hole of furniture flippers on the YouTubes, and it just really got me thinking, like, you really do enjoy flipping furniture. So why couldn't you make money doing it? There's really no reason. There's 8,000 million people on the YouTubes that are making money flipping furniture. Why can't you do it? What makes you so different? So I thought, side hustle project. We're gonna do it. We're gonna test it out. And wouldn't it be amazing? So I was just thinking about this on my way home from work. I work 40 hours a week at a desk job at a marketing company. And then I teach pole on Monday nights. I go to pole, and then I have my YouTube channel. I'm thinking, while I like my job, it's not like I'm like making tons of money. I also feel like pretty much everything I've done in life that, you know, I've accepted a paycheck for, they've been more about like, I really like it, so the money doesn't matter. And while it's really nice to say the money doesn't matter when you're younger, the money kind of does matter as you creep up in years. Do you have a retirement plan? Do you have a savings account? Are you just slaving away, living paycheck to paycheck? Well, if any or all of those answers are yes, we have to start thinking about a side hustle. And wouldn't it be great if your side hustle actually turned into your real hustle? Now, like I said, my job's cool. I like what I do. I'm good at what I do. However, it's still a fucking job. I still am expected to show up at work at 7:30 in the morning, do all of these tasks, and get them done during the workday. I'm still expected to only take a 1-hour lunch. I'm still working for the man. Wouldn't it be great if this side hustle project works out, then you don't have to work for the man anymore, and you can actually take a 2-hour lunch with your friends if you want to one day? Maybe you decided that you wanted to sleep in for an hour. Maybe you decided that you'd much prefer working at 7 o'clock at night when it's cool than working during the hot ass day. No matter if you love your job or not, it would kind of be cool to be able to walk in to your job one day and say, I'm gonna go work from home, I'm gonna be my own boss, I'm gonna set my own schedule, I'm gonna do actually what I really enjoy doing, and I'm gonna make a pretty good paycheck doing it. So, peace! Wouldn't it be cool? I think it'd be super cool. So, while this DIY video is not gonna be really like a tutorial, what I am gonna do is take you through all of the steps. So the first step is get in the car and go get the pieces of furniture. Oh, but really quick, before we do that, hear me out. I'm thinking that this is not gonna be a one and done sort of video. I don't know how it's gonna break up, how I'm gonna get all of these furniture pieces. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get them all painted and all listed all at the same time. And I don't think they're all gonna sell the very next day. So we're in part 1 right now. The part 2 will probably be the finale where we can go over like what sold, how much it sold for, what have you. What I do want to do is show you the process and show you what all the furniture pieces started as, and then maybe be able to show you like a quick fast forward of the process of me refinishing a few of those pieces. We all get the gist. Clean it, sand it, paint it, sell it. There you go. I'm only picking wood pieces. I'm not gonna do any upholstery or anything like that. Again, I want things that I can turn out quickly and easily. I think this part 1 is gonna take us through up to me like posting at least a few of the pieces. And then part 2, did we make any money? Is this lucrative? Can we sustain a side hustle project and make it be our hustle project? I don't know, but that's what we're gonna find out. So now, let's get in the car and go find some furniture. Okay, so I'm in the car and I'm on a scavenger hunt to find the best, most cheapest, most sellable, easy to redo, quick to redo, biggest profit pieces of furniture. The side hustle project is officially underway. Okay, the first stop was the Ambet thrift store and I got this cute coffee table and it was only $12. Make you hollers. Look at how cute. There's a stamp on the bottom even. I Googled it and it seems like this might be an actual pretty good piece of furniture once it's redone. Piece number 1 for $12. Yay. Okay, so I am back from my haul and I actually hit the jackpot at another Ambet thrift store downtown. I picked up this coffee table with the cane, which is very in right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
I picked up this, it's upside down so you can't see it, this round table here. And then I also have this little French provincial table and then another little round end table there. And there's one item I couldn't fit, so I need to go back and get it. But basically, I have 6 pieces of furniture and my total was $112 for all of it. Okay, so I brought everything into the backyard and you are looking at $112 of pure profit. I'm super excited about this cane coffee table, which I ended up getting for $20. I'm in love with it. There's part of me that just wants it to get cleaned up, but I think I'm gonna end up having to paint it. This one was our first purchase for $12 and I love it. I think I'm going to market it as a coffee table because it's just a little bit too bulky to be an end table. Then I got this piece that is really cute. It has a drawer. Ooh, and it has a stamp. This one was $10 and we are going to call this French Provincial because of the legs. Then we have this one that I got for $25, which I love, and I'm considering I want to kind of keep this one for myself, but we're not thinking like that. And then this little number here was $25 as well. And what's interesting is we've got 2 drawers. It's definitely missing a knob, so definitely have to change the hardware. This side held like DVDs, I'm guessing, but I think I'm gonna bust that out and put a shelf because this one is missing. So I'm thinking this is more of like a credenza TV stand situation. I'm not quite sure. And then this one got for $20 as well. And this is darling. It is heavy and it is real wood and it is effing darling. I'm gonna do something really neat with that. All in all, starting out the side hustle with the set budget of $100. I know I went to $112, but I couldn't help myself. 6 pieces for $112. I'm seeing ching, 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 ching. So now I need to head over to the Lowe's and get the paint and supplies. Look who's here! He came to help with the side hustle project. I set up a canopy so that we wouldn't be in the blazing sun. Davis is here to help me wash down all of the furniture. We're gonna put Dawn dish soap in the bucket and we have some scrubby towels and we're gonna wipe all of the oils and grossness off of this furniture so that it is prepared and ready for sanding, priming, painting, new knobs, everything you can imagine. That's what we're gonna do right now. Okay, so we've just washed down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 pieces so far, and we had to stop because we need to show you the bucket water because you're gonna die. Can you see?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like black.
Yeah, and this was a clean bucket.
With blue Dawn dish soap.
Yeah, with blue Dawn dish soap. It's amazing just how much, and we're not scrubbing. We're literally just, I'm not like putting elbow grease.
Yeah, just to like get the suds going.
Yeah. Look at how gross that water is. I mean, we don't know where these came from. That's just like years of furniture polish, finger grease, dust, whatever else. I'm super thankful we washed these down. Davis is even amazed.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now we just have to hose them off and dry them. Okay, yesterday when Davis came over, we washed all of the furniture like you saw, and we just moved it out from under the canopy to dry. So today, after work, I just got home from work, the plan for me was to sand everything. But it's 6 o'clock at night and it's 107 degrees. I don't wanna go out there. My plan was to sand everything outside and then bring each piece into the house and paint it and do all the refinishing stuff in the house where it's a little bit cooler. We all know I can't work in my garage because that place is a shit show. And plus, it's hotter in my garage than it is out in the backyard. So I almost feel like I gotta wait for the sun to go like completely away, and by that time it might be 8 o'clock at night. But I do need to get these pieces sanded so that I could get them painted, so that I can get them listed, so that I can get them sold. But I don't wanna go out there right now. It's hot, man. The sanding isn't gonna take me a long time because it just needs to be a light sanding to scratch up the surface so that our primer and paint can adhere to everything. So it's not like I'm gonna be sanding for days. I'm just gonna get my palm sander, slap some sandpaper on it, and just go as quickly as possible. But that round little table has some intricate detail on it, and so that one might take me a little while to sand because I feel like I'm gonna have to hand sand it, or I got one of those like spongy, soft kind of foam sanding blocks to go around the curves. I will need to do that by hand and not with my palm sander. But once I can start bringing them in the house and painting them, it's gonna be super exciting. I'm my own boss in this side hustle project, and so I'm not gonna go out in the 107-degree heat and sand those pieces right now. I'm just not. I'm gonna get a cool, refreshing beverage, sit on the couch, and wait a little while. I will for sure. I've been saving it. I wanna show you the paint I got, and I did get some replacement hardware for some of the pieces out there, so I'm not gonna show you that right now. But soon as I get these motherfuckers sanded. Okay, I'm not super thrilled about it, but I'm outside in the heat. I think it's about 104 right now, but I'm under my canopy. I need to start sanding. If I don't start sanding these things, I'm never gonna get them done online on like the Let Go's and the Facebook marketplaces. So I'm biting the bullet, and at least I'm in the shade. So I'm gonna sand everything, and then I'm gonna bring them in one at a time and start priming and painting the whole lot of them. So I have my handy dandy Black & Decker palm sander, and I also have a like foam sanding pad to get around like the rounded legs and whatever. So I'm gonna go as fast as I possibly can. This first sanding just needs to be a rough up sand. It's just to give our pieces some grit so that our primer and paint adheres to everything. So I'm not trying to get everything down to the bare wood. I'm just trying to scuff them up. I think I can blast through that and get inside as soon as possible. Okay, so I feel like I've done all I can do with my palm sander. Now I'm gonna need to go in with my little block foam sander. I'm just gonna wrap a piece of sandpaper. Even though this is already sandpapery, I'm gonna wrap the same grit sandpaper around this and then do this shit that I need to do by hand. I'm dying of sweat. Sweat is dripping from my brow, dripping from underneath my boobs, dripping everywhere. So I gotta get back to it. Hand sanding, here we go. Okay, oh my God, I wanna pass out. But I am officially done sanding. It took me about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes to sand all 6 pieces, which is pretty fast if you ask me. When you piece all of these together, I used 1 sheet of sandpaper for all of them. 1 sheet divided amongst all 6 because, like I said, we're not trying to get down to the raw wood, we're just scratching the surface. And then an hour and 20 minutes. So I gotta keep record of how much time I'm spending. Now I did work on all of these pieces together, so I want to divide that time by 6. You know, the coffee table might have taken me 15 minutes and this might have taken me 10, but I'm gonna just divide the time evenly amongst all 6. Now what I need to do, get a damp rag, brush off all of the sanding dust, and then one by one, I'm gonna bring them inside into where my air conditioner is running like a crazy person so that I can cool off and begin the priming process on all of these pieces. There's sweat dripping from underneath my boob down my belly right now. I've got to get inside. There are also some pieces once I bring them inside. This French provincial piece that I'm sitting on, there was a ding that was deeper than what I wanted to sand out. So once I get the pieces inside under some good lighting and whatnot, I will meticulously go through each one of them. I do have some wood filler, so any gouge that was too deep to lightly sand out, I'm gonna wood filler that, wait for it to dry, and then lightly sand it smooth before I begin priming. So yeah, I'm gonna hurry up and wipe these fuckers down so I can get inside. Okay, so I have these two pieces in the house, two more pieces, they're down in the sunroom / dining room area, and then two pieces are still in the backyard. But I have spent the last hour on these two prepping, like taping off where I don't want to get any paint, removing drawers, hardware, all of that stuff. So these are fully ready to go. I'm gonna start priming them with good old Zinsser Bin primer, a microfiber roller, and then a paintbrush for the little detailed areas. While the primer is drying on these, I'm gonna prime the other two that I brought in the house. So I've kind of arranged it. I bought 3 paint colors. 2 pieces, these two right here, are going to be a very light cream, not quite white, but not, you know, khaki. The 2 in the sunroom are going to be white, and then the 2 outside are going to be charcoal gray, or like a gray. I've organized them by that so that I don't lose my mind and I don't lose focus of like, what color did I want this one to be? Check these, lightly sand them. Do they need a second coat of primer? Same. So I'm gonna work on 4 pieces today. While I'd love to have all 6 pieces of furniture in the house, prime all 6, then paint all 6. That's just not gonna work for me in the space that I have. As it is right now, it's pretty crowded. Depending on how far I get today, the 2 that are outside, those might not get anything done to them until tomorrow. Now, I've only started on these 2. I'm keeping track of these 2. As soon as I'm done priming these, I'll stop the time and I'll start the time for those 2 over there, because I need to keep track of my time. Time is money. So yeah, primer coat now. The primer coat is officially done on these 2 pieces. It took me a lot longer than expected because these 2 pieces are the most ornate pieces, and I literally had to hand brush all the primer onto this entire thing. I could only roller the top of each one of these. So these are gonna take the longest because clearly if I had to use a paintbrush to primer, I'm definitely gonna have to use a paintbrush to actually paint. Now that these are done and drying, before I can lightly sand them, I'm gonna go primer the other 2 pieces that are in the sunroom. And I've officially stopped keeping track of time on these 2. And now I'm gonna start keeping track of time on the coffee table and the round table. Okay, so I have 4 pieces completely primed. While my last 2 pieces are drying, I'm going to lightly sand these 2 pieces that I primed first. And then after I lightly sand them, I can actually start putting the actual color onto them. Okay, the sanding is done on these 2, lightly sanded, wiped them down. And for these, I got this Rust-Oleum Chalked Chiffon Cream Chalky Smooth Finish paint. I also got some more zebra brushes. If you remember from Teacher Jen's dining room table, I bought the zebra fan brush, as recommended by Katie Scott. I bought a zebra angled brush, as well as a zebra little round brush to get into all the nooks and crannies, because these are 100% gonna be hand paintbrushed. So they're gonna take a while. But that's what we're doing next. So that's exciting. Paint, actual paint is going on to these two pieces. Okay, so the two pieces behind me are damn near finished. They each got 3 coats of the cream chalk paint on them. So all I need to do now is lightly, ever so gently, sand them, any little brush mark, any little flake of dust that happened to get under the paint, because after you do that, you can either clear coat like a varnish, or what I'm gonna do for these two pieces, because they're so ornate and so like intricate, which is what took me forever to paint them. The other 4 pieces hopefully will go by much faster. I'm pretty pleased, but it did take 3 coats. I was very, very, very meticulous, and they look perfect. And look at how cute this drawer is. Oh, that goes right there. So originally, this one did not have a handle on the drawer. This bottom part right here, that's what they wanted you to use as the handle. There's not even a hole for a handle, but I'm gonna make a hole for a handle because I got this cute, like, bronzy, goldy knob, and I'm gonna put this little knob on this little drawer right in the center, and I think that's gonna look so cute. This is actually the drawer front. It was very easy to take off the drawer so I could paint it, and the drawer needs a little bit of wood glue at one of the joints because it just looks like it's coming loose. Now that these are final painted, I'm not putting another coat of paint on them. I'm gonna lightly sand them, and then instead of a clear coat, varnishy type situation on these two, I am actually going to use a wax finish. Remember those Lazy Susans? Well, I used a wax coating on those and I loved it. And so this is a bare decorative wax, enhance the color of chalk finishes, which is what we have here, adds a rich satin sheen. So how you do this is you rub it in, then you let it set, and then you buff it off, just like wax for your car. Because these are more nightstandy, end table-y, they're not going to get as much wear and tear on them. So I thought it would be safe because a wax coat finish is not nearly as durable as like a poly finish, but pretty much the coffee table, the other 2 tables, and the TV credenza, they're gonna get a varnish coat. Add the hardware to this one, clean and replace. I'm gonna keep the same hardware that this had. I'm just gonna put it right back on this, and then these 2 will be done. So I have been very carefully counting the hours I've spent. I also know that I went through about a half a can, a little quart can of primer, but then ran out. So then I had to go get a different can of primer. I'm just basically saying I used a quarter can of primer each. You do want to water your chalk paint down just a hair, so it's a little bit, I went really kind of watery on the first coat, and then I went a little less watery on the second coat, and then I went even less watery on the third coat. So out of this can for both of these pieces, I've only used like this much paint. If this side hustle turns out to be a hustle, I have all this paint. You could get tons more pieces out of it. It surprisingly didn't take up that much paint. So that's all of that. But as far as time is concerned, the initial wash took me and Davis about 30 minutes, so it would have taken me about an hour, let's say. So that's 10 minutes per piece. The initial sanding, I did all 6 pieces. It took me 2 hours, so that adds on 20 minutes. So for each one of these, I've spent 30 minutes in prep time, and then taking the doors out, taping where I didn't want to get paint, priming, coat 1, sanding, coat 2, lightly sanding, and then my third and final coat. So let's just call it 4 hours and 45 minutes on each one of these, give or take. I know I spent a little bit longer painting this one than I did this one, but fuck it. I'm just gonna divide my time equally amongst both of these, which is a lot longer than I wanted them to take. But again, I started with the hardest ones first. But my next 4 pieces should fly by. So I may not be able to make as much money on these 2 just because my time involved is much longer than I thought. But you live and learn. So there is where we are at the end of part 1 of the side hustle project. The next time you see me, hopefully all the pieces will have been sold and we can go over the befores, the afters, how much they sold for, how long did it take before I sold them, where did I sell them, was selling them a total fucking shit show, was it worth it? We'll go over all of those things in part 2 of the side hustle project. But for now, part 1 done. Wish me luck on getting everything else painted and fucking sold. Because if I don't, there won't be much of a part 2 now, will there? So yeah, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are alerted to all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out, which is every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. If you haven't rung the notification bell already, you'll want to ring it, because how else will you be notified about the side hustle project part 2 unless you have notifications turned on? So go do that right now. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out. There is sweat dripping from underneath my boob down my belly right now. I've got to get inside.